Welcome back to Real Estate Simplified. I'm joined today by Kristyn Pereira, lead stylist at Well Dressed Home, and Justin Sherry, founder of Justin Sherry Design Studio. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Kristyn, I said the market is selling like hotcakes. That is pretty hot. But with staging, some people might think that, hey, with the market so hot, I just put up a sign, my house sells miraculously overnight. Should I even bother staging my house? What's the real answer?
Yes, for sure. There is no market where you don't want to make the most amount of money possible. So for sure, you can totally put a sign on your house, leave it as is, don't make your bed. Your house will sell and it'll probably sell over asking. But why not use that as an opportunity to increase your equity and make the most amount of money? So, staging is always about raising that perceived value, and if we can make your house look more expensive and make you more money, then why wouldn't you want to do that?
Well, exactly, and especially in hot markets, what you have to ask yourself as a home seller, what's an extra offer worth to you? If you can generate an extra one or two offers, that could be $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 more in your pocket just by getting the traffic through the home. So, the magic formula is you have more traffic, that leads to more offers, and more offers leads to more money.
That's right. And if your house, looks amazing and we create beautiful photographs for you, then we're attracting the most amount of people. And the people who haven't put effort into their listing, then, they're not looking at that one in comparison. They're going to go to the property that looks amazing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then when your house is not the prettiest house on the market, typically you'll have less traffic, less offers on it, and then that's a lower sale price. So when you look at the cost of staging versus the potential impact it can have on your bottom line, I think it's a no-brainer.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you're a homeowner and you're starting that sale process, you're thinking about selling, what sort of advice do you have for a homeowner who's thinking about selling and just getting into it?
So I would say the first thing to do is call your realtor and have the stager come in there. Professional staging, we can help you to create an action plan to prepare your home. So if that means there's paint to be done, any recommendations in terms of renos, upgrades, things like that. Light bulbs is always something that I like to address. And just in terms of the space and work to do. I think that it's so important to be able to put your best foot forward when you hit the market. And a lot of times, I'm especially seeing in this market that people are waiting until the last minute and then they have, a week, maybe 2 weeks to scramble and get things done. And the more time that we put in to prepare, the better you're going to be. Yeah,
well, 100%. And when it comes to even getting ready, you mentioned calling your real estate agent, which is a great call, but how soon or how far ahead should somebody actually have a stager come through and take a look at their property? Because last minute, like you said, things get rushed and it doesn't really always turn out the best it can.
I would say the sooner the better. If you want to start going through your closets and decluttering, things like that is always a really good thing to do, to start kind of seeing what you want to get rid of, what you want to take with you to the new house. Starting that organization process is always a really good thing. But it's never too early, even if it's a year in advance, you're planning your time and organizing that way.
Yeah, well, especially with paint colors too, because I'm sure you've come across lots of situations where the homeowner will repaint the house, do all this work, and then the stager comes in and it's like, oh, I really wish you picked a different color.
Yes, yep. I mean, paint we always say, is like money in a can, right? Personal colors can be really challenging, and it's a deterrent for buyers because it stops them from being able to connect and see themselves in a space that is so personal. So if we neutralize the space and try to appeal to the most amount of people, then that is so beneficial in terms of value. So even if you did paint, I will still sometimes ask you to repaint. We actually just did a consultation at a house, and the homeowner painted the front door and mailbox fuchsia purple. And she was so proud to tell me that she had just painted it. And I said, this is the buyer's first impression, and not everybody's going to appreciate your fuchsia purple door. So, taking that advice and making sure that you have that plan from professionals before you make those decisions yourself, I think is really valuable.
Yeah. Now, what if a seller can't afford to stage. Now, I would argue that you can't afford not to stage. But let's say hypothetically,
Yeah.
somebody the budget's tight. Maybe it's a distress sale type of situation. What can somebody do in that situation?
Well, I agree with you. I think it's a trick question because I think that, as much as it might be an investment on the front end, it's costing you money in the long end to not make that investment and to not show your property in the best light, right? So I would say do whatever you can. If it's a credit card or, there's so many different financial options out there now to help with the cost of preparing your home, not just the staging, but if there's any renovations and things, there are options out there to be able to help you to do that. But it is definitely a really huge loss to not make that investment in professional staging.
Yeah, and I hear there's a pretty good real estate team in Halton that actually looks after staging for their clients.
There
too.
you go,
So that
too,
could
right?
be an
If
option.
you get the right realtor, then it's not even something you have to worry about.
Yeah, so speaking of fuchsia purple, like bright purple and maybe some more unique colors, what sort of design trends are you seeing this year?
So I think that we've really moved into more of a comfortable, cozy environment with people spending so much more time at home. Everything should be kind of that lived-in look. We're seeing more deeper sofas and soft textures and curved lines and, more natural colors like the soft blues and soft greens and things that are just make you feel, bringing the outside in and more of a natural, just really serene, calm, cozy place. I'm seeing a lot of, colors and designs that are just much more comfortable than the glass chrome untouched look that we were used to before.
Yeah. Well, I think when I go home, I'll say I'm keeping up with the trends by keeping the house as a lived-in look. So I'll definitely use that one. Let's say somebody moved in their home, 7 years ago. Trends have kind of changed. What kind of advice would you give to somebody to start tackling and kind of not modernize, but bring their home up to today's design trends?
So, I always say when you're investing in bigger pieces to keep those a little bit more neutral. Even in our staging inventory is the same thing. We want things that are going to be a bit of a chameleon. And then you can add in trends with your artwork and accessories, and bringing in color that way is a really easy way to be able to change things over. I would say, if that's your situation and you're looking to sell, then that's always something that we can supplement with staging. But anything that seems very eye-catching or really bold is always usually good things to remove when you're staging.
Yeah, so if somebody's looking to sell in the next little bit, it's all the personal items away. Should they pack everything in boxes and get a head start on moving?
Again, I would say, getting the stager in first is always great because some things that you might see as garbage are something that we can probably reuse in a new, unique way. I always find so many treasures in people's basements that they think that should be discarded or packed up, that I see as something that we can use in a new, unique way. So really getting that advice and plan from a professional, I think, is a really good first step before you really start packing things up, unless it's tucked in the closet like clothes and personal items.
Yeah, for sure. Well, really good stuff. And coming up after the break, how accessory apartments and granny flats, basement apartments can pay off your mortgage. Stay tuned.